on the one that's been grinded down, the thing that you'll notice is on the sides and on the top, it's actually tapered. So it's a little bit different from the EC Lines gravers. It looks like it's like 60 degrees or something. Okay, so like for example, the blade normally looks like that, only like better. Right? So what some people do is they actually grind down the sides like that. And why you would do that is these are kind of like arrows that go to the point. So it's easier for you to see where the tip of the graver is going to go. And then also they grind the top of it. So it looks kind of like that. Besides looking really cool, the reason why you would do that is in the end, you have less face to grind down when you go back to sharpen, so it takes less time to sharpen it. This is the sharpening fixture. I'm going to use it on the sharpening hone here. And the cool thing about this is you have these exact degrees on here. So when you go to sharpen it, it's the same every single time you go to sharpen it. One of the problems is with the traditional jig, it's hard to get it at the same angle every time. And what happens is, I don't know if anyone's ever used one of these or done it, but you actually kind of have to get used to a new angle because it's not sharpened at the same angle again. With this, it's the same every single time, so it's kind of like you don't have to subtly develop new muscle memory as you're cutting.
What's the price?
This, altogether,
Comes off the
no, it's separate, but it's altogether. It's I think it's like $800 or something. Also, if you do decide you want to get this for your school or for yourself, there is an academic discount. Just tell them you're at a university, and they'll take 10% off. So what I did was I slid the graver into the jig here and clamped it down at the top. Now I'm making sure that it's in there straight. And this is at 0 degrees because all I'm doing is the face. So I'm not doing any of the sides. I would turn this from side to side if I was going to do something like the heel at the bottom.
Could you use that jig on just a regular non-turning grinding stone? Like at home without the power hone?
I suppose if you were to develop something that had wheels on it, where you could go back and forth like that you could do it.
Okay.
Now, I'm not familiar with this tool, but I can tell it's not 45 degrees, so I'm going to figure out what the degrees are on the face here. What you'll do is you'll slide it on this little pole here, and it'll just rest on there like a record player. So it looks like it is 30 degrees. Put it at 30, and then I'll clamp this down really tight. Typically, the ones these that you get are at 45 degrees. The ones that wherever that black one is now,
right here. Right here.
Those are at 35 degrees, and it's partly because of the geometry of the heel that it makes it to where the tip doesn't pop, doesn't break as easily. Okay, so I slide it back on here. This has, right now I have 5 different stones. I'm starting with the coarsest grit first, and then I'll work my way down. Each of these stones is probably about $100, but you could probably live with only 2 of them. If you got the coarsest one and one of the polished grits, you should be good.
And it's spinning away from that thing.
Yeah, so it's spinning away, and I have it kind of pointing in the direction of it, because if I do it the other way, it's going to give resistance to the stone, and it could tear into the stone. Also, I'm moving it back and forth like this so I don't wear down one area on the stone. No oil. Nope.
And no water either.
around the edges of the face, a burr is going to get kicked up because he's just grinded it down. And so what I can do is just take like the ingrained part of a piece of wood, it's fine, and just stab it in there like that. And that'll take the burr off, and it's not going to make this dull or anything like that. I've never had any problems with it.
So is that polished paper?
This is a 1200, and I could go down to the ceramic or the steel.
What was the previous one?
600. So I have those are the grits that I just used. And you can see this doesn't take very long compared to the old method of doing it. Have it just lightly tap it in there, and if it sticks, then you're good to go. Another way that I would see, I'm doing it to the side. Another way that I was shown how to do it, and trust me, this works, was to actually do it this way, because there's because of the way your thumbnail works, there's a grain going that way. So if it sticks that way, that means it's super sharp. But I don't do that. This works just fine. Trust me. Okay, as far as materials go, like what metal that I use, I do not discriminate with metal. Whatever is free, or whatever I can get my hands on. Because I'm telling you right now, I have 3 different metals here, between the brass, which wasn't horrible to cut on, but it wasn't the most glorious experience because it was a bit harder and there was a bit of a grain to the metal. Between zinc and copper, those two cut just fine. Whenever you see the print, any of these prints here, I guarantee you cannot tell me what metal that any of those was cut on. I've gotten pull of 50 off a zinc plate, and it's been just fine from 1 to number 50. If you're going to start off, maybe zinc would be better because it's a softer metal to work into. Okay, now to hold this thing, this part of the handle goes in the palm of your hand, and I have this plate out. If anyone wants to try it in a little bit, you can doodle on the plate.